NSBA Executive Director Tom Gensel recently participated in a panel covering religion in schools at the National High School Journalism Convention. Charles Haynes of the Religious Freedom Center was the moderator. Here's an excerpt of their discussion.
What if parents do get upset? And what if parents object to discussion of religious groups in the newspaper? What if there are parents out there who just think, well, that's not the business of the school to talk about these issues. Why are you covering it? What are some strategies from the PTA perspective, the NSBA's perspective, that student journalists should know as they go into these sometimes difficult waters?
For public schools, there are laws, there are numerous court decisions that have essentially said schools cannot discriminate against any religious group. It's sort of an open marketplace. You need to allow equal access to the schools. And I think what's interesting to me, this is a personal comment, not necessarily organizational, but I think most people in this country think that it's really great that we have freedom of religion. But what I've experienced personally is they feel that way until they get really uncomfortable about it, right? I mean, go back to my comment before about 2,000 religions in this country. The odds are that there are a couple of those groups that might make a few of you uncomfortable if you heard what their beliefs were and they wanted to have equal access in the schools. But that's the law. This is where school boards come in. This is the real world stuff of school boards, because they have to take these competing interests in light of the law, obviously, and try to establish policies that allow fair access to everybody.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I go to Oakwood in Dayton, Ohio. In a few years, my newspaper published an article on a gay couple who went to the school, and we were sued by parents who claimed that there were no gays in Oakwood, and I was wondering what you thought the line was, like where the line is drawn for parental involvement.
The threat of litigation is often as powerful a weapon as the litigation itself, and that can have a chilling effect, and it can cause people to kind of back off because they just don't want to get involved in it. But I go back again to what we were talking about. I think it's important to have clear guidelines for what you're trying to accomplish, what the purpose of all this is, so you have a strong basis. I mean, I'm happy to hear in this case it just went away as it should have, but the reality is to defend what you're doing and to be able to answer critics, it's important to have those guidelines in place right up front.